Hi, and welcome back. Today I want to show you how to remove and replace the rocker covers on the top of the engine on this EVO Harley Davidson. It's a 1996 Road King, and we're going to try to do it by leaving the gas tank on, just moving the gas tank up some, and gaining hopefully enough space to do this job without draining and removing the tank. Let me show you reason why we're removing these, because the chrome is completely gone. This bike lived close to the beach, and there's just no way of fixing this besides replacement. I got all the hardware already removed from the seat and the gas tank and the dash panel to make this video a little bit quicker. So I'm just going to show you what you have to do. So first we got to take the seat off. There's a bolt in the back. The seat will slip right off. Next you will be removing this dash panel. There's a one screw here. It's a Phillips head with a big washer and a 1/2 inch right here. Place a rag over your battery and the motorcycle like that, and then you can just pick this panel up and flip it over like so. To remove the gas tank, there's two bolts back here, the 3/8 socket. I took those out, and there's a long bolt with the nut right in front here. Here would be the nut, and you take the nut off and just pull the bolt out this way. Next we go on this side of the tank. This bike is carbureted, so you just gotta disconnect the hose of the petcock, so there'll be a clamp, and pull the hose off. If it was a fuel injected bike, there'll be a collar here, or two of them if it's an older bike. But even if it's fuel injected, this should still apply. Next, I need two things. I have about 2 foot long piece of wood, and I got a rag. The rag I'm going to stuff in the front of the tank so I don't scratch it against this chrome dash nacelle. And now I will carefully pick the gas tank up and slide this 2x4 under it. There's nothing there that you can knock out of the place or messed up, so you don't have to be worried. Now to gain more room over here where the coil is, I'm just going to pull the plug wires off. And tuck this one up. This one that is close to this spark plug just comes off. This, I believe it's enough room to slip the top cover off. Alright guys, so next thing what you want to do, here you have a typical Allen wrench. You take the same Allen wrench and cut it back until about here. So you end up with this, and that really helps with this job. Regardless of taking the gas tank off or not, you need it for the rear cylinder because it's very tight there against the frame. Okay, so now we have plenty of room here to try to loosen these bolts and remove them. Now we got 2 more on the other side. Okay, so here we are with the other 2. And now this top cover slides right off, following the center cover, which is not bolted down in any ways. And what we got left is our bottom piece, which we definitely got plenty of room to take off. So to remove the last piece, it's the most hardware you have to get off for this whole job. You got 3 3/8 bolts. There's one here, and one here. Then you have 2 Allen heads in each corner on the left side of the bike. And then you got 1, 2, 3, 4 1/2 inch bolts. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bolts. Okay, to make things clear, I just want to show you this piece that's on the table. So we took 4 Allen heads with that chopped off wrench. Then we took that cover off. This middle cover, it's just sandwiched in between. And then you got the bottom cover with the rockers. And for that, you have the 4 half-inch bolts. Then the 3 7/16, I think they are 7/16. And then in each corner here, it's an Allen heads. So the bolts are actually here. That's what they look like. These are the 7/16 ones. These are the 4 half-inch bolts. There's 2 longer ones and 2 shorter ones. It's easy to know which one goes where, because if you look at this is recessed down, so the shorter ones go here, the longer ones go here. You can tell that this is taller than this. And then the 2 outside ones are these longer Allen bolts. I always start with the 2 Allens, basically leaving the biggest bolts for the last. Take the smaller ones out first. So here we go, 1, 2. Next we take out the 3 7/16. You don't need no extension, just regular ratchet, and the socket is just perfect. It'll clear what you need to clear to be able to turn it. So there is one here. Don't lose the washer or don't drop it down anywhere. There's the second one and the third one. And finally, we got these last 4 half-inch bolts. What I do with those, I loosen them up evenly. On this side, I have to use regular wrench because of the room. Bolts are loose, so all we're gonna do is pick this piece up, remove this piece altogether with the bolts still in there. There's gonna be drippage of oil. There's also oil running down over here. There's just oil that it's sitting over here like this. So the next thing we need to do, we're gonna clean a little bit of this oil that is accumulated in these edges, so it's not running all over the engine while we are working on this and cleaning the old gasket material out of the way. So now, before we start reassembling, we gotta get all this old gasket material off, which could be a pain and it takes time. So I'm not gonna really video this, but as you can see, you take a razor blade and go at it little by little. Try not to scar too much the engine head, make too deep of a scratches in it. After about 30 minutes, I finally got this side all cleaned up. But before I start reassembling the front cylinder, I want to show you how you're going to take the rear top part off, because the rest of it is the same. I just want to show you with the cut Allen wrench, it makes it possible to get it off, because as you can see, there's not much room here between the frame and the engine. And that's, by the way, has nothing to do with the gas tank being on there or not, because obviously the frame is in the way here, not the tank. The 2 Allen heads that are on the right hand side are no big deal, because you can take those off with your traditional Allen. Moving on the left side of the bike, using my cutout Allen, as you can see, there's plenty of space. I'm gonna loosen up these remaining 2. Now this one, it's really close to the frame once it's loosened up, so we can take that off with the cover. Easily we can take both of these covers off, just like in the front cylinder. So now we have the last piece just like we had in the front, so I'm not going to show that because it's the same 9 bolts over here, 1, 2, these 4, and the 3 7/16. So I'm going to take that off and I'll be right back with you. Actually, there is something I need to point out. See, I got everything loose now, but it won't come out because of these uh, push rods. So what I do, I pick it up. The 4 half-inch bolts will stay in. You pick it up a little bit, and then you basically need to move these, and you need to move these push rods out of the way by just picking them up. It's a little fiddly, but so that's the front one. Make sure you don't mix them up. This bike has adjustable push rods because it had some performance work done. Yours might be just the OEM solid ones, but you just pick it out of there and make sure you mark them or stack them on your lift the way it came out, because each one is different length. Now we gotta take the second one, the exhaust one, out. These ones are a little more chubby, a little more heavy duty than the stock ones, so they're a little more stubborn. So because they are a little bit chubbier than the stock ones, I'm kind of stuck here on the frame. So what I need to do, I want to move this camera down. I need to remove this tube. For that, I'll just need the screwdriver. You can just stick your screwdriver right there and push it out. And then these tubes will come out. You just gotta spin them or whatever you gotta do to get them free. With the tube being loose, I can angle it easier, and I can take the second one out. So when we're gonna put it back together, I'll show you how to assemble this, but it's very simple. So now with those push rods out of the way, there's nothing else that is holding this in the bike anymore. So here we are. It's actually a following day because I took extra time to paint the engine while these rocker covers are off. I took a couple other pieces off, the carburetor, the backing plate, all these push rod covers, took advantage and changed the O-rings in them. It looks very nice now, freshened up. Here I just want to show you the other side. There used to be a chrome cover that was all bubbling up. This was all rusty. I found the OEM one in my stash. So everything just looks nice and fresh. In my case, I purchased used OEM rocker covers, which came with the rockers, but I want to switch them because the bike that I'm working on has a little bit beefier ones. So I don't want to leave the OEM style ones. If you bought a new aftermarket rocker covers, they're going to come without the rockers. So this will also be helpful for you. But basically, this is very simple process. You just push. Sometimes you got to use a hammer. Sometimes you can just push it like this by hand. So this is the cover that I'm going to be using now. And I can switch over. There's something that I want to point out. If you look at this pin, there's a slight cutout where it's important. Otherwise, this bolt is not going to go in. On this side is no problem because the bolt is away from it. Let me show you here. You can see how this indentation, it's in line how it's supposed to be. We carefully get it even. See, now the bolt goes in easily. That's what you want. Again, we're going to do the test with the bolt. Goes right in. When you do this job, you have to buy a new gasket set. So it will look something like this. These are the 2 bottom updated style gaskets. And these are all the rubber ones that go in between. So this actually came with the new push rod tube O-rings. Also, I already replaced that with O-rings that I had. So I'm going to save those for the next job. But we have to use always brand new gaskets. They're not reusable. So here we are finally starting our assembly. I'm going to show you the rear cylinder because that's the one that is more challenging than the front one because of the space here. But the front one then is going to be repetition of this. First, what I always do, I want to make sure that in these threaded holes where our hardware is going to go down, there is no oil in it. It's very important because if this bolt got filled with oil while we were removing it, it leaked in it, you could cause major damage. So I'll take a paper towel and stick it in each hole, and if there is oil in it, it'll take it out, and I don't have to be worried about making it. You see this oil right here? This was the oil that was in that hole, and it might kind of block the bolt from going all the way down, and then you can really strip it or make a problem. If you have a compressor, you can blow it, but it's kind of messy. I just painted this engine, so I really don't want to have oil blowing all over it. But as you can see, there's quite a bit of oil in that one hole. Sorry, I try not to block your view with my hand, but seems like the paper towel does pretty good job in getting down there and also tell you, see, this one has a lot of oil. Next thing we're going to be doing is putting our gasket on. Just make sure when you put it on, it meets all the holes where they're supposed to go through. So before we start installing this piece, remember we have to insert the 4 bolts that go here. And I was telling you earlier, there are 2 longer ones and 2 shorter ones. So what do you have to do? The shorter ones go here, because as you can tell, there is a slight drop. The longer ones go here, because this is straight. It should lay in there very easily because we are still missing our push rods. So now I'm going to try to just position it so that push rod can go in easily. First, the front one will drop in, and the rear one, we took out the tube and everything with it because the thickness of it. I believe with the stock ones, you don't really have to take it out like that. So now I'm going to put the tube in there. You can just let this sit here. That we can cover the tube later. And now you see I got them all in place. You want to make sure that they're sitting nicely inside as they should right there. So I'm going to get this started with my ratchet wrench. Evenly tighten it down. Okay guys, so now with these 4 being tight, we're going to move over to the 3 7/16 smaller head bolts, and we're going to put blue Loctite on those. Remember, there's 3 of them here. Next, we're going to move to the other side and install these 2 Allen heads. Here in this area, we still have room for the full-size Allen head wrench. Now we have everything tightened up, so we proceed with putting our rubber gaskets that just sits into place. Make sure they sit nice and even. Sometimes when they come out of the package, they're a little bit out of shape. So this is where you kind of have to really pay attention when you're putting those covers on, that everything lined up real nicely. So now we put our middle cover on. I'm going to inspect later both sides to make sure that nothing is out of shape. And we start with the last piece of rubber gasket. Also make sure you replace your little breather here. There's a little mushroom type of seal that just pops in and out, so you can pop the old one out and pop the new one in. This is what I'm talking about. This is from the front cylinder. It's always go towards the middle, close to the carburetor. So this one goes on that side, it'll be this way. And you just pop it off. It just kind of sits in the groove, and you put the new one on that comes in your kit. Now it's finally time for the top cover. I'm going to leave this screw in. I don't remember when I was taking it off if I was able to get it off or not, but I'm going to leave it in there. Now I'm going to try to put all 4 of them in very loosely so I can still pick up the cover and check my rubber gaskets. So you see they're sticking out way far, so I can still pick these covers up like this and look and make sure that everything's lined up. Okay, so our cover is completely on, and before I go ahead and do the front one, which I'm not going to show on the camera because it's exact repetition of this one, with the exception of here we got plenty of room to use a regular Allen head. I just want to point out something. Do you see here how this push rod is higher than this one? Is because the position down here of the cam that spins around. So when you have the spark plugs removed and you turn the key on, you can rotate it where both of these are down, which would make it the correct position for you to put the rocker cover off without fighting to push this down and push the valve open. So I'm just going to demonstrate for you guys. Going to turn the key on and bump the starter. Spark plugs are out. I'm going to put my hand right here. You see how they're moving up and down? So this is the position where you want them. They're both down. So both of our engine rocker covers are fully installed, but I forgot to show you how to put on this push rod cover tubes. So I took one back apart just to show you. So you're going to push this up, make sure it seats into the O-ring. There's an O-ring on the bottom, O-ring on the top. And then with the flathead screwdriver, you're going to insert this half piece up and push this down like this, and it'll just pop right in. So that's just to complete the instructions on how to install this back in. Okay guys, so as you can see with some TLC, touching up the engine, new rocker covers, this bike woke right back up. I wanted to show you that you can do this without removing the gas tank completely, which saves a lot of time and hassle dealing with the fuel. And I hope this was helpful. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.